captain, don't catch a wave on us. Splish. I'm Luke Skywalking on these haters. Celebrate every day like a birthday. Good things come to those that wait up, but don't wait to jump in too long.
Yo, who sing that song?
Miguel.
Let him sing it.
No, I knew you was going there.
All right. Welcome, everybody. We are going to wait for a few people to come and join us. This is the views from the 20 and show you some matchups of today's games between the Colts Texans and the Cowboys Seahawks. We're just going to wait for a few viewers to come on, and then we are going to get going. We got the true man and the false word on the line, and then we got the scout extraordinaire, Vic Coco Santana. Fellas.
What's up? What's up? Swag and I surf. Now watch me surf and swag.
We can see you're in a good mood. That's nice. Let's start off the year with some
positivity. We gotta get. Listen, anytime I'm in the lab and I got this hoodie on, it's getting ready to go down like Bobby Brown with the you know what around.
Okay, all right.
See.
Vic, you got anything you want to say?
I'm just ready. My first day off where I get to see football all day long, watch some film, be with you guys on this live. I got the film over the feelings right behind me on my left shoulder. I got the Ball U Academy. Shout out to Myron Jenkins, Jay Ham, 94 Feet of Life, guys. It's views from the 22. Film over feelings. Let's get to that footage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are about to get to it just indeed. In one humble second.
Trap.
I'm so proud of Facebook, man.
Wow, what Facebook do?
They minimized my screen here for YouTube, and they allowed me to upload our video.
Okay. So you're basically going to share it while we on live?
Yes. I'm currently right now getting ready to do this.
All right, let me see if I can jump in and move it around myself. So you share that, let me know. So the Cowboys, they use the trap play, Germ. They use the trap play as we see throughout the years, but for some reason they don't use it enough. And,
yes, they do.
And they don't use it enough, and I think it would be key for them to use it a little bit more against the Seahawks this week, especially with Bobby Wagner, one of the best linebackers in football. They're gonna need that trap play. The trap play is gonna set up the second level for them. Basically, boom, you have one of the guards juke out of the defensive lineman's way, so that he could get into the second level quicker. That defensive tackle that starts to rush upfield is going to get blocked. Kind of, that's how the trap play works. If they don't use that more often this week or for this game, the Seahawks may be able to contain Zeke a little bit. But whenever Mo is ready, we're going to talk here a little bit about those two young studs for the Cowboys at linebacker. Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, 18th overall pick this season. And it's going to show, we're going to show a little bit of some strength and some weaknesses. You're going to see some differences between Jalen and how he's improved from his second season, first season starting last year. He's improved significantly, not only physically, because he looks faster, he looks more explosive, but also mentally, where he's able to read, react, and finish. He's not thinking too much. He's not hesitating. He's just playing ball. So I think that this is going to be the most important matchup because the Seahawks. So you got a situation where you got the leading rusher, right, in the NFL, Ezekiel Elliott, and you got the leading leading rushing team. So the Seahawks lead the league in rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a situation where that matchup is going to be important. The Seahawks run game against the Cowboys run defense for this game. Because there's times where you can get some chunk plays against these kids and that front seven. And then there's times where you see them making some good stops. So we're going to see a little bit of those examples here. Whenever more.
Yeah, so this is the first play. Saquon Barkley with a sweep to the left.
Yep. So here's a 4-yard gain, and it's a first down. But we're going to kind of see how physical Leighton is, and I think he gets hurt in this play. But we're going to see here. First, they're going to line up. So you're going to see Jalen at the strong, and then you're going to see Leighton at the middle. But now it's going to switch up. You got Leighton at the strong, right? Because the tight end is over there shifting over. So the most people is now on the left side of that formation offensively. And now Jalen becomes the middle linebacker. Leighton is going to just read, and he's going to take on this blocker. He's going to take on this blocker and also make the tackle with his body at the same time.
And this is in an era where, you're starting to see guys like Deion Jones begin to pop up more and more, and everybody's seeking Deion Jones. This is where it's valuable to still have an old school looking linebacker with size and that can run.
Yep. And, so, I mean, this is a kid, like I said, he's very physical. Both him and Jalen Smith, man, when they go to hit somebody, whether it's the ball carrier, whether it's a blocker, they're going in with some force. They're very physical, very strong kids. I think he gets hurt here on this play, but and he had to leave for the rest of the game. But that just shows how physical he is and how he was able to make that play by himself, basically.
So the next play we're going to go to is a Jalen Smith play.
Yep. Here he's going to be on the weak side. And again, read, react, finish. So the weak side linebacker, what the idea is for them to be able to flow to the ball with no blockers in front of them. So you got Leighton here at the middle. All right, you got Byron Jones and Heath are going to line up in front of the tight ends and stuff like that, and the sixth offensive lineman. Jalen is just going to go take off. Look at how he just takes off with that burst, that explosiveness. The blocks get taken on, and he's able to flow to the ball carrier and make the play. And like I said, when he tackles, he's going to tackle. You're going to go down. And, he displays that here. See how he's lined up on the weak side? Able to flow to the ball. They're going to need a lot of that, man. I think that was like a 2-yard gain right there. They're going to need him.
That was actually a no gain.
Actually, no gain. So, they're going to need them to flow smoothly against the Seahawks to the ball like that, to the ball carriers.
So this next play we're going to show y'all is from the third quarter in Week 16 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it's a Leighton Vander Esch play.
Yeah, so here we're going to show a little bit of some weaknesses that he displayed that I saw on film. Again, he had a great season, but this is going to be very key against this offense this season. He's going to be on the weak side. It seems like there was a little bit of some confusion. He's going to be playing the weak side here, and you're going to see Jalen, the middle linebacker. He's going to take on the block, but he's going to take on the block like it's clear that he was there to be a team player, because he's going to blatantly take on this block and let Leighton flow to the ball.
You can see there's a lot of communication going on pre-snap.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here on the weak side, right, lined up in front of the where the running back is.
Right.
And at the snap, you'll see Jalen just blatantly go to the guard, take on that block so that Leighton can flow and read, react, and finish. And you're going to see he's going to kind of hesitate for some reason. So, boom, you already want to be attacking that hole. He hesitates, take about a step back, and then goes forward, and then he barely makes the tackle.
Right.
So
And
that's about a 6-7 yard gain right there. And you know, you have to like a 6-7 yard gain is enough, you know, for a first down. You know, so to shorten the drive and things like that. So he's gonna have to make. They're gonna have to make some plays consistently where they bring the tackle. You know, the Seahawks to 2 or 3 yard gains.
this is no offense to Peyton Barber, but he's not the downhill bruising running back that Seattle has. And Seattle has 3 of them in Chris Carson,
Yes.
Mike Davis, and as
Yes.
Jerem calls him, Mr. 1 Cent, Rashad Penny.
Yes. So again, you see how Leighton should have met him at the hole, or at least get, you know, be able to meet him at a 2 or 3 yard gain. He hesitates a little bit, takes a step back, takes a step forward, whatever it was there. But he has to just flow a little bit faster to that ball.
And now this next play with Jalen Smith, we always talk about how we want to see linebackers attack the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Exhibit A.
Again, I mean, this kid is just reading, reacting, and finish, man. Like, you could tell he's watching the film. You could tell he's studying. You could tell that he's just, you know, just not thinking anymore. He's just playing with that speed, with that burst. I mean, his knee clearly is not only 100%, but it looked like 110% to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Handoff at the point at the mesh point. That's when he already meets him at the hole.
and I think the one thing, Vic, and when this kid was coming out, obviously there was some huge concern about his knee.
Yep.
And you know, for the Cowboys, they took a risk, and now that it's paid off, you look at it, and the Cowboys took Ezekiel Elliott and Jalen Smith in one draft. And on our board, and even though we weren't all together yet, despite his injury, I still felt like he was a top 5 player in that draft.
Right. He was.
Yeah.
No, not only that, you got Zeke, you got Elliott, you got the defensive tackle that's
Zeke and Elliott are the same guy.
I'm sorry. Zeke Elliott, Jalen Smith. They get the kid in the 3rd round, the defensive tackle who's playing well. He's at the 3 technique. And they also get Dak Prescott in that draft. So it was a pretty damn good draft by the Cowboys, man. They just, you know how I feel about that. They got to finish.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, well, let's just stick on this, and then we'll get to the matchup.
Yeah, here Leighton again. He's playing the strong side here now. This is a run blitz, so this was an assignment. He was already going to hit the hole. So when he's given an assignment, he's going to be able to finish. So this was a run blitz assignment. He hit the hole. He was able to adjust his body and contort a little bit here, and just burst to the ball carrier and finish.
Oh my goodness! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Wait a minute!
What happened, brother?
We are having some slight issues at the moment. Hold up. For whatever reason, YouTube is not allowing me to put this thing on the as the full screen. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Ay, ay, ay. Well, that's our apologies, folks.
What you mean?
I mean, they weren't seeing any of the plays we were just showing.
Yes, they were, because I was watching it.
Oh, okay. So then I wasn't able to see it. That was weird. Okay. It was telling me that I wasn't able to see it.
I'm watching it. Yeah, I'm watching. Well, you watching YouTube too, Roger?
Yeah, no, I'm literally watching. I'm literally watching his screen right now.
Okay. All right. So Vic,
if y'all can't see it and y'all in the comments, let us know. We can fix it.
I think I fixed it now. Okay, there we go. There we go. Vic, so you were saying with this play?
Yeah, he's playing on the strong side here. See how most of the players on the left side of that formation offensively, but this was a run blitz assignment. You'll see how he'll just take off up in the hole before there's even a mesh point. And again, he was just able to read where the running back was going, react to that, change direction, finish.
Oh. And then this is a play we're going to show here with Jalen Smith, just to highlight his
everything, everything,
basically.
everything. The speed, the explosiveness, how healthy he's looking. This is a 4th-and-1 situation. This is second quarter, 10 seconds left. Texans up 10-6. Here he has, and what I expect the Cowboys to do a little bit of this year. I mean, this game against Russell Wilson, he is going to be the spy in this play on Deshaun Watson. You're going to see him kind of move with wherever Watson moves, and then when Watson puts the ball down, you're going to see him react to that, and he's just going to put his head down because he already knows what Watson's going to try to do. And he gets credited for a sack here.
There he is right there. And you could see as Watson's taking off. Now, really, if you look at it, Watson has a little bit of an advantage. But because he's, a little ahead of him. But Jalen just – the path he takes to this football and the speed that he gets to the ball carrier. And when you see it here from the end zone angle, you get to appreciate it a little more. And I'm going to just run it fast from this angle.
Yeah. Boom. Watch where he's going. Just take off.
That is Optimus Prime, as we say, Autobots. I'm in pursuit.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely very, very impressive. Just I want to go back, since I don't think people saw this play. I just want to show you all this play real quick where Vic was talking about.
Yeah, next time maybe so we should put the put YouTube on the phone to see.
Oh, that's not how it's gonna do. Okay.
Our team is already talking that. Was that the one where he hesitates?
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, and even in the Bucks game, if you look at all the plays, the run plays, they had gains of 5 yards, they had gains of 6 yards, 7 yards. So the Bucks were able to run the ball successfully against the Cowboys, man. And they can't let those type of plays happen against the Seahawks run game.
Of course not. So we showed you a little bit of the pros and cons for this defense, and I mean, really, for the Cowboys today, they are, when they played the Saints and they had that dominating performance, they essentially just played cover one press, and that's going to be very vital today in this game against the Seahawks, because the Seahawks don't really have anybody near the level of Michael Thomas type talent, and that they still felt comfortable enough. Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard still felt comfortable enough to leave their cornerbacks one-on-one or even have some sort of bracket coverage, but they weren't going to play zone and just sit back and let Drew read them and pick them apart. They got in their face. They applied pressure. Now, I'm saying all that to say, when that play that we showed with Deshaun Watson and Jalen Smith, and Vic said that he expects them to play spy, well, that's how they're going to be able to play spies, because they're going to be able to play cover one, and they're going to have somebody who is either going to be a robber or they're just going to have him be spying on Russell Wilson. And make no doubt about it, while he isn't 2013, 2014 Russ with the legs, he can still move better than majority of these quarterbacks and even majority of these linebackers. So definitely going to be a key matchup. Now, we talk about Russ, we understand the strengths that he provides with his legs. We understand the strengths that he can even provide as a playmaker. Where his weakness lies is his pocket passing and his ability to pass the ball at a high level from the pocket as a quarterback. Now, there's no other way for me to say this. He lacks in that category. And as we say it, film over feelings. About to show y'all a couple film to calm down those feelings. Jern?
Yes, we are ready. We here. Check this out. So we got quarter three. As we said, the Seattle Seahawks offense is first in actual rushing. We got Mr. 1 Cent, who has over 400 yards as well. I think they were one of the first teams in history last so many years where they have three guys of 400 yards plus on their particular football team. We got Mr. Chris Carson and we got Mike Davis. Mr. 1 Cent is their most creative runner. Chris Carson is the guy who he's their more physical runner, and Mike Davis is a little bit of combination of the two. He's a little bit more physical, but at the same time, he doesn't have the same burst as Mr. Penny. At the end of the day, man, to make this really simple, first and foremost, I'm going to set this up with some colorful analysis here. The Seahawks in games in which Rush throws the ball for 31 times or more, they are 2-4. But in games where he throws the ball less than 31 times, they're 8-2. So with that being said, that shows that when this team is on schedule, offense is a lot of times just like a job in a lot of different ways. You got to schedule to get to the end of the day. You're making sure that you stay on time, you stay on down and distance so you can continue to utilize your greatest weapon, which is your running game. What I want to see here is on this particular play, we have, I believe this is a hitch route concept where we have two hitch routes for our outside receivers. We also have a seam concept, I believe, and there's also a slant or a end concept here. And what they're supposed to be doing here is when he sees that the DBs are playing this far off, and with that potent of a running game, we have to take our three-step drop, plant our foot, and we have to drive that ball to whichever one of these hitch routes we have open. We have two open. We have two DBs on the outside playing really, really soft. And as we see, if he drives the ball there, we're talking about staying on par for the next play. And this is a 2nd and 9 play. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we want to see is we want to see him hit this 5-yard hitch to get him into a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 situation to keep them on schedule. The Seahawks can get 5 yards a carry. That still opens up their playbook. The more you get to 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3s, it keeps your playbook open and it allows you to be able to do more. And I want to see that moving forward from him. But as you're going to see, he takes a step back. He takes his drop back. He immediately looks inside rather than looking outside in this situation. Outside, when you have that much leverage and that much going on, you should naturally know that you have those two corners out there playing that soft.
I mean, he's looking right at him. He doesn't fire. All right.
We call this the Aaron Rodgers effect, where I'm going to see you and I'm going to watch you and I'm still not going to throw it to you. And he takes a sack. That's a horrendous sack in that situation, considering this is a game they lost by 3 points. So next play, we have Q4. This is the 3rd and 6, correct, Mo?
Yeah, it is the 3rd and 6.
Okay, so in this particular play here, what we're going to notice is he has a guy come right across his face mask. And he comes across his face mask, and instead of Russ making the throw here and understanding where he needs to be throwing, excuse me, that's not that one.
This is a sprint right option one.
That's the sprint right option. I got those two mixed up. How did I do that on the notes? Right. Whatever. But it's a sprint right option. So with him sprinting right in that situation, it's supposed to be catch. You turn your hip, you flip your hips to run, you take your 2 steps, and the ball should be coming out right there. Perfect. That's a first down if he does that. Instead, what Russ sees here is he sees the defensive end, or I believe that's defensive end here.
Right here.
Come right up and get some pressure, coming up to get pressure in his face. The ball should have been out here. We're going to explain. I'm going to explain why. I'm actually going to have Mo stop it at the point where he should have been throwing the ball. Right there.
Right here.
That ball should have been out. In fact, if he wants to stop running, he can stop his momentum, plant his foot, and drive that ball to that outside shoulder or to the closest thing he can get to the sideline to ensure that he gets it to the receiver and throws it out of harm's way of the defensive back.
Right. Yeah, and they gave him a sugar look blitz there. And that sugar blitz is when the 2 middle linebackers are going to attack the A gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's exactly what they do.
Yep, they attack the A gaps, and like you said, you should have just gotten rid of the ball real quick before that pressure, because that's one issue. The Seahawks offensive line has improved, but their pass blocking is still weak. They just have taken a significant step forward with the run blocking. So he needs to get the ball out a little bit faster than this, and he can throw it on the
If he
run.
stops right there on a dime and just drives that ball, we're talking about a first down right there.
He could throw it on the run too. He could drive that front leg into the ground and throw it on the run.
If he was, and see, the reason why I say that too, this is part of how we do our lab session, ladies and gentlemen, too. I see what you guys are saying, but I also see that he's worried about this guy, which is why he does the hokey pokey and turns himself about.
Yeah, but I mean, right, but okay, so he could have thrown it here, or if he wanted to, taken even another step and maybe like gotten to this hash mark and made the throw. But instead, he just panicked and like Germ said, did the hokey pokey and turned himself around. But the essence of this play, they've been running this play since the West Coast offense first came into the NFL. It's one of the oldest plays in the playbook, and it's designed to get the quarterback out of the pocket. And obviously, the quarterback has to be able to throw it on the run. So, like Vic said, once he plants that foot forward, the ball should have been coming out, and it doesn't. Now, those first two plays that we showed you, you could say, well, yada, 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 whatever you want to call it. This next play and this last play, as they say, you saved the best for last. This is horrendous. And this is fourth quarter, 3rd and 15. Basically, the game is in your hands.
So what you're going to see here is it's going to be a play action fake. Now, on these type of plays, when you get a play action fake like this, sometimes some coaching staffs, Vic, correct me if I'm wrong, they teach you to look for the running back in these type of game situations. Because he probably 9 out of 10 times, we know you're not going to run the ball. So 9 out of 10 times, he may get a free release here, just like he did right there. The ball has to be out right there.
That's fair.
I mean, look at all this space.
And remember, let's make sure we know the situation. We just seen that it's 20-some seconds left. That could potentially get you right into field goal range, which you have in Sebastian Janikowski, who is the ageless wonder. He's 40. I think he's 40. 42.
If he hits him in stride, he's gone. There's no.
I'm just saying, worst case scenario, he gets into field goal range. Worst case scenario.
Here's the worst part about all of this is that he still gets off a clean throw on this play. He just goes to the wrong person.
What is it down in distance again?
3rd and 15.
3rd and 15, and they're obviously playing to not allow him to go deep. So they're giving him the underneath.
Right.
The underneath is, and this is the myth that a lot of people see with quarterback play in general. The myth is that they think that naturally that the quarterback always needs to throw the ball 15, 20 yards in the air to get the 3rd and 15s or the 3rd and 20s. Sometimes it's a 5-yard pass that turns into a 20-yard gain. So we have to understand down distance, what defense we're looking at, and what route concepts we're deciding we want to run to attack whatever coverage that we're attacking. And why that is important in that particular play is if Russ executes that play properly, we're talking about the Seahawks potentially winning that game rather than losing that game. Right. Those are plays that don't transition into successful February football that make me say that there are quarterbacks that are better. That is an important piece of information that we're going to keep as we go into the offseason when we do some quarterback only lab studies. And we're going to go over and we're going to have a really intense study on these things because we want to show what the standard is that the standard things that the quarterback should be doing opposed to what a lot of these quarterbacks are doing. So, Mo, I'm going to let you take it away from there.
Right. And, it's kind of a perfect segue. We talk about quarterbacks and standards and what they're supposed to be doing. Doesn't get much better than Andrew Luck. And in their matchup today against the Texans, there's a lot of very good matchups across the board. At the end of the day, Andrew Luck and this offensive line are going to neutralize a lot of the things that the Texans like to do. You can see here, he's got an out and up with T.Y. Hilton. He's got a clean pocket to throw from. The coverage is not terrible, but the route is good and the throw is even better. So you see that now in this game, Costanzo was out, and Costanzo is a big part of this because the left tackle in this game, the left tackle in this game struggled a little bit, and that's why you see they had to chip him. But when Costanzo was playing in the game later in the year, and obviously the Colts won that game, they lost this one. Costanzo performed. I'm sorry, I think they won this one.
This is the later matchup, correct?
Later matchup, right? This is a later matchup.
They won this game by 3 points because of the false start by Clooney.
That's right.
On 3rd and 1, after the 2 minute warning.
You see the throw by Luck is just absolutely perfect.
Pinpoint.
Yep. And you see that little wobble? All the quarterbacks will tell you want that ball to have a little wobble to it. In order to be, and as crazy as that sounds, in order for the ball to be accurate, you need a little more bobble to it. A little wobble to it. Not much, but you need a little wobble to it. So when you hear on the mock drafts and whatnot that he spins the ball really well or he throws a really tight spiral, it's not always the most important thing because you want a little wobble on it. I mean, you don't want it,
Anytime a tight spiral matters is when it's in tight windows. But when you put an air under the ball, you want to give the receiver something for them to be able to track it. That's pretty much why. It helps with the hand-eye coordination. Just to correlate it and add more colorful analysis to that, fellas.
Well, it's just, look, that ball, I mean, we can get into the physics of it. In the words of the great Bill Belichick, I'm not the Mona Lisa Vito of footballs, but, that football is just weird, and the physics behind it is just slightly different than any other ball you can think of. And on 3rd down, the key for me in this game is really going to be on 3rd down. And how are they going to match up with Ebron, and how are they going to match up with T.Y. Hilton? Because as you can see, the rapport that Andrew Luck has with T.Y. Hilton and with
Eric Ebron.
And Eric Ebron is really second to none. It's very well. They have a good connection. He knows when he wants to go to them. He knows how he wants to go to them. He knows where they're going to be. And they also have a pretty good feel for what Andrew Luck is seeing. And you could see sometimes they even throw in a little option routes. The thing with the Texans is on 3rd downs, they favor a cover 2 look. And that's pretty much what they showed him throughout the entirety of the first 2 games. And we showed that sugar blitz concept earlier in the Buccaneers game. The Texans do show that look quite often.
49ers.
I'm sorry, in the 49ers game. The Texans show that look quite often. The problem is they don't really send any pressure until late in the game when they started sending pressure. And sometimes they'll send, majority of the time, especially in 3rd and longs, you'll see them send 3 players rushing, and they'll play a cover 1 with 2 guys underneath, or a cover 2 with 1 guy underneath, cover 2 men. I mean, they do a lot of things, but they favor a cover 2 look. So seam routes, curl routes, there's going to be a lot that the Colts, I think, can do and a lot that they can find. And ultimately, that's where I believe this game is going to be decided. The Colts' success on 3rd down and their ability to keep the chains moving and for Andrew Luck to play this game at the pace that he wants to play. All right. So we showed y'all a little bit of film. This is the first time we do this. We had some technical difficulties. We apologize for that. We're only here to get better in all 3 phases. We appreciate the patience. We appreciate y'all tuning in. What we're going to do now is, as we're winding down to the 2 minutes of the show, we're going to go to each player. We're going to go to each guy, from Vic to Germ to me, and we're going to give our final thoughts and predictions for these games. We're going to start with the Texans and Colts, as that is the game that is going to kick off in about a half hour. The over-under on this game is 48.5. The Colts are 2-point underdogs, obviously, because the Texans are at home. Germ, I'm going to start with you. Give me your final thoughts and your predictions on this game.
All right. First and foremost, hey, man, we appreciate y'all checking in. Hey, man, appreciate the camera guy, Mr. Screen Share himself, Mo Schefter. With that being said, though, moving forward, the bigger picture here is, man, I'm going to give y'all a crazy stat. Deshaun Watson has never been involved in a game in which it didn't finish as a one possession game and a loss. So in other words, he's never lost a game as a starting quarterback from beginning to end with it being more than a one possession game. So what that tells me in a lot of different ways from watching Deshaun over the years, um, Deshaun has always been in the game or put his team in a position to win the game. We can go down to the Bama game when they lost by 3. We go to the Florida State University when they lost to the Florida State Seminoles when they were FSU's finest, as our guy Trav says. When they lost to that team, they lost by 6. They lost 23-17. When they lost to Pitt the year that they beat Alabama by 3, they lost to them by 1 point on a last-second field goal. The way that this player plays, the way that this young man composes himself and he plays the game of football is remarkable. I have to give him a shout out. I have to give him credit because that is a testament to just the sheer understanding of what his job is as the quarterback and how he is a catalyst for consistent winning football and how he has to play a certain type of way. Moving forward, if you can guess that game, maybe we get you a fresh set of Ham's homemade cookies. If y'all can guess the game, don't use the football reference, and I'll know who uses it or not. But anyway, I like the Texans in this game for 2 reasons. J.J. Watt, I'm not betting against him when he's healthy. I like Jadeveon Clowney in this game as well. We watched film on J.J. the other day, and just the grown man that he is, the way he attacks gaps and situation, there will be no stretch runs in this game allowed while J.J. Swat is on the field. Overall, Deshaun Watson, that defense, B-Hop, Nuke as they call him, I just think this is their time. I think they are the best team in the AFC right now. Give me the Houston Texans 27, Indianapolis Colts 21.
Vic?
Yeah, real quick, shout out to those views from the 22 Cats because, we had Deshaun as the number 1 quarterback in that draft 2017. Those guys know a little bit of what they was talking about, I guess, that year. But no, I mean, like Jerm said, man, that kid, it just, to me, when you watch guys like Tom Brady and I don't know, quite frankly, I don't know who else, when you see a player at the quarterback position who could just perform at the highest level, when the lights are bright, there is nothing that can take them away from their game. They're focused mentally, and they can lead, and the whole team just follows behind them. That's Deshaun Watson. Of course, he has a little bit of deficiencies. There's times where his ball placement and his accuracies can be shown, but I mean, again, when the lights are on and the pressure is on, that kid makes plays, whether it's running or even passing the ball. One key for me, though, it's tough because, and it shows how great he's been. They've given up 62 sacks this season. I think they lead the league in that, compared to the Colts giving up 18. So it's not like the Colts have an outstanding pass rush. They're about middle of the pack. But I think that's going to be key for the Texans if they're able to move on to defenses that can apply more pressure and things like that. I will pick the Texans to win this game. Oh, and real quick, shout out to Hopkins because, I mean, I just saw a stat. He has 528 receptions in his first 6 seasons. That is first in NFL history. So, and then he also has those 115 catches with 0 drops. So, that's a pretty good pretty there between Watson and Hopkins, and I'll pick them to win this game too. But I'm gonna go with 34-27.
Okay. Now, while we're on DeAndre Hopkins, shout out to him as well because he has pledged to donate his paycheck to the funeral cost for that young girl, Jasmine Barnes, and he's also going to be that check is also going to go towards finding a reward for that senseless killing. So shout out to DeAndre Hopkins. Shout out to the whole Texans organization. Really, anytime something strikes Houston, they seem to be at the forefront of volunteering and being involved somehow. So shout out to them for that. And Bill O'Brien has certainly developed a pretty good culture there. This has by far been their best season, and it feels like it's Houston's time, and it feels like if they're going to do it any year, it's going to be this year. But you know how much we love quarterbacks, and you know how much I love that number 12. And I'm looking at a couple things in this game. The Colts are number 1 in third down. The Colts are top 5 in red zone, and the Colts are number 1 in fewest quarterback pressures in the 2018 regular season. Andrew Luck has been playing more than exceptional. So they can move the chains, they can keep him protected, and they can finish drives. Whereas the Texans have not been the best when it comes to finishing drives. And these 2 games, it's only been by a field goal. And you can argue one way or another that these 2 games could have gone either way. So it has been close. And I believe the Texans are the better football team. But Andrew Luck is that dude. And he is that neutralizer to any matchups that could happen. And he masks a lot of things in a way that not too many quarterbacks can mask. Outside of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, I don't know if there's anybody who can mask things the way Andrew Luck can mask things. So give me the Colts to win this one. And I'm going to go by a score of that everyone was a field goal. I'm just going to follow that trend, and I'm going to say 37-34 Indy. We're going to move on now to a game that's more than likely not going to be as lopsided or as high scoring. 2 teams that are very tough defensively, 2 teams that want to play smash mouth football, 2 teams that have had an overachieving secondary. So I'm going to start with you, Vic. I'm not going to mention anything, but you know who you got in this one. Seahawks, Cowboys. If I can look up the over-under real quick. Give me 1 second. The over-under is 43.5. And same thing, 2.5-point underdogs are the Seahawks, but they're the road team, so that means nothing really. What you got on this game?
So, yeah, this is a tough one for me to call, man. Like you said, there's some similarities with these teams. They run the ball well. They play really good defense. They both can be, even though they play good defense, they both can be ran on. And I'm gonna give the Seahawks a slight edge on this game. I think that they win on a tight game, 23-20. I think that it's gonna come down to, I think they both run the ball well on each other. Like I said, you got the league leading rusher against the team that has the most rush yards as a whole. And I think that both defenses can get run on, but it's going to come down to who's going to make the last few plays and who's going to be able to pass more efficiently. And even though both quarterbacks can struggle, I think Russ obviously and clearly has the most experience in the playoffs, can make probably the most plays. That's not to say that Dak can, because Dak has shown that he can do that. But I'll take Russ and his inconsistencies more than Dak and his inconsistencies. So I'll take the Seahawks 23-20 on this one.
Germ?
Okay, the Seattle Seahawks are 6-1 when that defense gives up 350 yards or less. So that pretty much means if you contain the running game and Dak has a Dak-like game, then Dak's all, folks. See how I did that? Anyway, the principle here is this. As I said, this is the game in which I think Rashad Penny means the most to this rushing attack. Why? I think he's the most pure, natural running back that they have of this stable. That doesn't mean the other guys aren't good. It just means sometimes the ability for me to be able to say, I know this guy can make the first guy miss is all the difference. And with this linebacking core, the way Vander Esch, the way Jalen Smith come downhill, you have to be able to make one of those guys miss. You have to be able to put pressure on the backside ends and the backside and the strong side linebacker, the weak side linebackers. You have to be able to put pressure on them. Also, I think overall, man, I just need Russ to keep us on schedule. I keep saying a schedule because if we're the number one rushing team, that means we're getting in the third and fours, third and sixes consistently. Those are manageable third downs. We need to be converting those third downs consistently to get to the next set of downs. And I think the Seahawks actually have the formula for success for that. Now, here's what's so crazy. The difference in this game is really going to be coaching. We got Pete Carroll, who we believe here at Views may be the best coach in the National Football League. Yeah, that's a little burn. Shout out to Bill Belichick. Ouch. Now, the sad, harsh reality to everything of this is that situational game managing football. We're gonna just call it situational game managing for the coaching staff in general for the Seattle Seahawks. That particular group is better than the Cowboys group. So give me the Seattle Seahawks because I think coaching will be the difference because these are really, really evenly matched teams. There is no Earl Thomas in this matchup to intercept two balls off his feet. There is no other factors in this game besides the great linebacker play we're going to see from KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner and Landerish and Jalen Smith.
Baby Wagner right there.
Baby Wagner is Jalen Smith. Okay. That's his hot take, by the way, Mo. That's his hot take. That's his jalapeno take.
Hey,
wow.
24-20. Seahawks.
All right. I mean, Jerm basically took my take.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. It's all good. I mean, that's why, hey, film over feelings, lab breeds objectivity. It is what it is. The linebackers, the running backs, and the coaches are all very vital to this game. For the Seahawks, I think the Griffin and Cooper matchup is going to be something to watch. Also, Trey Flowers on that opposite end. I think him and Michael Gallup is going to be a matchup to watch. That Seahawks secondary has performed better than expected. Now, the numbers, you look at it, and they won't correlate, but they've played fairly well. And Pete has a way of getting his guys to play to their highest when it matters most. And I think that's going to happen in today's game. I think for three reasons defensively for Seattle, they can win this game. One, Bobby Wagner. Now, the way Seattle plays defense, Bobby Wagner is going to be that guy who is responsible for Dak Prescott, whether he's passing or whether he's spying. And I've seen plays where when Bobby is reading the quarterback, he just has an uncanny ability to cut the passing lane or get in the way of the passing lane one way or another. See him against Patrick Mahomes, seen it against Dak Prescott. You name the quarterbacks, and I've seen him do it. Obviously, not against the guys like Brady and Breeze because they're so good with their eyes. But quarterbacks that aren't the best with their eyes have a hard time against this Seahawks defense. And I think that's where lies the issue for Dak Prescott in this game. On the defensive line now, I think the edge rushers are going to have some success. Tyron Smith, he's been on the decline for the past couple of years. And then Lael Collins, while he's not playing bad at that position, I will still continue to say that the Cowboys are wasting his career having him at the right tackle because as good as he has played right tackle, he is even much better as a guard. And when he's got to go up today against Frank Clark and against Deion Jordan, I think he's going to have a hard time handling their speed, and I think that's going to cause some issues as well for Dak. So give me the Seahawks to win this game because I think they'll be able to run the ball practically at will, and I think they're going to be able to still force Dak into some turnovers, into some bad plays, into some key bad plays in situations. The Seahawks, like we said, they have probably the best coach, and there is not a better 60-minute football team than a Pete Carroll-led football team. Vic said 23-20. I like that score just to be a little different. I'm going to go with Seattle 26-20 in this one. So that about wraps up the show, y'all. You can see True Man right there showing up the trap. You can see Vic got the ball, you and the film over feelings. I got the trap with the little design in the play. Go check out the website. Check out the store. Type in Petty22. You get 10% off on all merchandise. Ham's homemade cookies were really, really a key part as to why we were able to lab late nights, as the carbs and the deliciousness kept us going. Ham's homemade cookies. Give my guy Jay Ham a shout out and buy the damn cookies. Views22 on Twitter, views_22 on Instagram, views from the 22 on Facebook, on the group and the community page. We will catch y'all tomorrow morning.
Smash the like button. Smash the like button, please.
Absolutely.
Shout out to whoever Anthony is. Who that is?
That's your boy Ann Oliver, Vic. So shout you.
All right. What up?
There we go, baby. Spreading love.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
True, take us home, baby.
2-2.
Catch
Enjoy
y'all
the game, y'all.
Yes, sir.